This is ABTV, Animal Bites Television.
Take a look at this beastie here. This thing is so prehistoric and awesome looking. And this, of course, is an Australian water dragon. You certainly don't see too many of them outside of Australia. There's plenty of Chinese water dragons out there, but this is super cool. And what's interesting is that I've seen a ton of these in the wild down in Australia. And believe it or not, when you cruise around the Australia Zoo, these guys are running around almost like the American version of peacocks. They're all over the place. They are so cool, and of course, they'll run around on the ground, but they're extremely arboreal. They have these really wicked sharp claws, so when they dig in, they're really something else. I've always loved these guys, and to be holding one like this is an awesome experience. And I'm at the CRBE right outside of Toronto, Canada. There's some amazing animals here. We're gonna run around and showcase the coolest stuff. You're watching Snake Bites. My name is Brian Barczyk. I'm no zoologist, just a guy with a passion for animals. And that passion often takes me on animal adventures around the world. This week, I'm outside of Toronto, Canada at the Canadian Reptile Breeders Expo. You're watching Snake Bites. Always one of my favorite snakes growing up was an emerald tree boa. Now, one of the things about these guys is they're typically not the most handleable animals. When it comes to green tree pythons or emerald tree boas, which really have like parallel evolution, one is from South America and the other one is from either Australia or Indonesia, New Guinea type area, but they look very, very similar. And there's certainly a green snake that lays up way up in the canopy, and that's why they have that green color. Well, one of the things that's very unique about them is the fact that they have really large teeth. You have to remember that when they're up in that canopy, when a bird comes by, they've got to reach out, strike it, and grab it, and those big teeth really help to get through those fellers. But unfortunately, it also means that they have a pretty nasty bite. So typically, green tree pythons and emerald tree boas are really great display animals, but oftentimes aren't very good handling animals. So when I had the opportunity to mess with this little guy here, I certainly was excited about it, because emerald tree boas are absolutely gorgeous, and there isn't very many times when you can actually play with these guys. Now, one of the things I do find interesting, the difference between emerald tree boas and green tree pythons, is that these guys will actually have live young, whereas the green tree pythons are egg layers. But these are just stunning, stunning animals with that white pattern down their back and that beautiful shaped head. And I tell you what, this is the only time that I've ever had my face this close to an emerald tree boa. You guys remember, whenever I'm down in Texas at the NARBC, I have my little correspondent Peyton. She's so adorable. Well, guess what? I'm with Sky Lily here. She's my new correspondent here in Toronto at the CRBE. She's amazing and she really loves the animals. So Sky, tell me what you brought for me today.
I brought Paranormal. He is a ball python.
So this is your pet ball python, and his name is Paranormal. So Sky, tell me, did you name him Paranormal? How'd that come about?
My mother actually named him.
Yeah?
But he is still mine.
Yeah, I'll hold him. So tell me, how long have you had him?
I've had him for a year.
A year? Wow, that's cool. And tell me a little bit. Now, yesterday when we were talking, you were giving me some advice because you know that I'm a little afraid of bugs. So tell me what you told me to do about bugs.
If you really are afraid of bugs and you want to try and get used to them, you should start small by holding, like a baby
Hill bug? That's what so she said I should start with a little. So tell me how you would do that.
The best way to find one is by looking under rocks.
Yeah?
They like to go under rocks.
Yeah, and so then what? That's going to give me confidence to hold other bugs?
So you just start small and work your way up once you get braver and braver.
That's some pretty good advice, I tell you. So Skye, first off, you love Paranormal here. What else do you have? What other reptiles?
I have,
a blue-tongue skink, I think you said?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Her.
It's her.
Girl.
Oh.
SJ.
SJ? That's
her name.
awesome. Well, I tell you, do you want to run around and go look at some animals together?
Sure.
All right, guys, we're going to go see what else is cool at the show. Put little Paranormal back here. So, Skye, you picked out this animal to look about, and this is a pretty big one, huh? I mean, this is a boa constrictor, and it's actually an Albino Kahl Boa Constrictor. What do you think of it?
It's pretty amazing. She's beautiful. I love her eyes, her tongue. Just the way it flicks out like that.
It's pretty amazing.
The color just stands out.
Now, have you handled a lot of these big type snakes, or is this the first one?
I handled Kaiju at my house, and she's a pretty big python. She's really pretty too.
Yeah, is she this big or bigger?
I'm not sure, but I know she's big.
She's big, huh? Well, I tell you, boa constrictors are really amazing animals, and as you can see, the majority of boas are super, super docile, which is really cool. And you know, you always want to make sure that when you're handling a boa constrictor around kids that you're certainly supervising them. But as you can see, if you're supervising them, Skye's doing an amazing job just kind of playing with this girl here. And this is actually an adult female. They'll get a little bit larger than this, but not a whole lot. And this particular one has actually had 3 litters of babies, which I think is pretty cool. And it's just a gorgeous animal. I remember when the first albinos were produced by Pete Call probably 15, 18 years ago. Believe it or not, they were $7,500 and they were just amazing. It's kind of funny, the first picture that Pete ever put out was this grainy, out of focus picture, and everyone thought he was maybe lying about it because it looked so horrible. You think you produced the first albino boas ever, and you can't even take a picture that looks good. But Skye, so what else do you think about this snake? I mean, would you ever want to work with snakes this size when you get bigger?
Probably I should start small, but once I work my way up, I think that this is going to be the first big snake.
See that? She's really smart about that. You know, she realizes that you want to start small and work your way up and get the experience. And certainly someone like Skye here, I think she's going to be a pretty amazing reptile keeper when she gets older. Actually, she's a pretty amazing reptile keeper right now. And you can see she certainly has a passion for it. And it's been a pleasure just kind of picking out the first animal. What do you say we go look at some other stuff? All right, let's do this.
Back up.
So Skye, check it out. You were talking to me about how I need to get over my fear of bugs, and I've been working on it, to be honest with you. And much like you talked about starting slow and small, I really started with tarantulas just like this. And this is a rose-haired tarantula, and they're really a very docile species, so they don't move very fast and they can make really good pets. And you can see I've really become pretty good at it. You know, I'm not nearly as afraid as I used to be. What do you think about these guys?
Well, they kind of freak me out a little.
A little? Yeah.
I like spiders as long as they're not over my head, because sometimes they get in my bedroom and I don't like to sleep with them over my head.
Yeah.
As long as they're not over my head, I think they're cute.
Do you think this one's cute? Do you want to try?
If it doesn't jump on my head, I won't freak out.
Okay, do you want to try to pet its back?
No, because
No?
it will irritate your skin.
No, this isn't bad. These guys don't really kick out any hairs. Like some will actually kick out hairs. This one's actually pretty good.
I don't really like to touch tarantulas, though.
Well, I can understand that. It took me a long time to hold something like this. But I tell you what, even though I'm still a little bit freaked out by some bugs, these guys actually are getting pretty cool to me. And as long as it doesn't move really fast, I'm completely fine. It's when they move really fast that it freaks me out. And of course, these rose-haired tarantulas, like I said, can make really good pets. Also, things like the Smith eye, the red knees are also really good pets. But like I was telling Skye, these guys won't really kick their hairs out. The red knees actually will kick their hairs out as a defense, and some people can get irritated, itchy with it. The thing that's really neat about tarantulas is that, you know, they can live a long time. Females can live 20, 25 years or more, and males typically aren't really the ones you want to get because they only come out of their burrows when they're about 7 years old, live about 1 year to breed, and then die. But I tell you, I'm starting to become a tarantula fan. I don't think that there's any time in the future that I'm going to have a room full of tarantulas, but you never know. Maybe I will, because they are really beautiful creatures, aren't they? What do you think? You think I should get a room full of tarantulas? So Skye, what do we have here?
We have a star tortoise.
Exactly, an Indian star tortoise, and it's really a beautiful animal, isn't it? And do you know the difference between a turtle and a tortoise?
One lives on land and the other lives in the water.
Exactly. Turtles are in the water and tortoises are on land. But of course, there are some people that think that all tortoises and turtles are called turtles because they all have shells. But you can kind of see this guy, you know, every animal has a kind of a unique defense mechanism. And what do you think tortoises' defense mechanism is?
They pop into their shells when they feel threatened.
Exactly. They just go right into their shells, and that way no predators can get to them. And you can see they have a very hard shell. And believe it or not, the shell is made out of the same type of keratin that your fingernails are made out of. Pretty cool, huh? And Indian star tortoises are obviously endemic to India, but they can also be found in Sri Lanka, which is a little bit of a different animal. And do you have any guess how long you think a star tortoise would live?
Probably over 150.
150? You're probably pretty close. Believe it or not, they can go between 100 years and 125, even sometimes 150 years old. So when you're getting a tortoise, it's really important to really know that that's going to be a commitment, that you're going to have to take care of this animal for a long time, and probably so will your kids and maybe even your grandkids. Uh-oh. And this is one of the problems when you're dealing with any animal, is that sometimes they like to go to the bathroom. Sorry about that, Skye.
Good thing it didn't land on me.
I know, it went right in between us here. And tortoises are kind of notorious for this too. Whenever I take out, my tortoise is named Speedy, and when I take him out to educational shows, he oftentimes pees all over the place and goes to the bathroom, so it's really common. But guys, I tell you what, star tortoises are really amazing animals, and one of probably the most ornate, most beautiful of the tortoises. So that is one beautiful animal. So tell me, I mean, you always have loved animals. It's obviously you're really passionate. I mean, do you hope to one day work with animals?
Yeah, I was hoping that maybe once I met you, you'd let me work with you when I grow up.
I would love you to work with you. Maybe we can travel around and see animals all over the world. I could always use someone to carry my luggage. Sticking with the bug theme, and you guys can see that I'm really getting a lot better with these guys. Don't get me wrong, I've got a little bit of sweat on my palms because my heart rate's up a little bit, but I tell you, I'm getting way better with most bugs, and this of course is an emperor scorpion. And a lot of people think that scorpions are really deadly animals, but the truth is the vast majority of them are more like a bee sting than they are something that's really major. And certainly the big species like this, like the emperors, are really not that big of a deal. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want to get stung, not because it would hurt that bad, but probably I'd pass out because I'd freak out so bad. But the truth is that these guys are really pretty cool animals, and there are a ton of scorpions out there, species, from little tiny desert scorpions all the way up to these big guys here. And believe it or not, this is a female that's going to probably get, you know, close to twice as big. And I tell you, you know, the more I'm handling these bugs, and the more I'm really appreciating things. And I talk about it all the time that I can't preach to people that are fearful of snakes that they should get over their fear of snakes when I'm afraid of bugs and I'm not willing to get over my fear of bugs. So I'm doing my absolute best to do that. But one of the things that's really neat about scorpions is that when you're collecting them, they actually have a protein in their exoskeleton that makes them actually illuminate when you put UV light on them. And look at that. Look at how amazing that is. I mean, that is just gorgeous. Believe it or not, these guys will shed their entire exoskeleton out, and that beautiful luminescence actually still is the same way when you shine a light on a fluorescent light. Oh my gosh, this thing is so cool. I tell you what, the more I mess with this stuff, the more I appreciate it and the more I think it's cool. I don't think I'm going to be a complete bug maniac anytime soon, but I tell you what, I'm pretty impressed with the fact that my fear is definitely subsiding, and you guys should feel the same way. Every time I come up to the CRB, there's one table that I always have to hit, and it's my buddy Brandon from Canadian Cold Blood, because he produces some of the sickest animals on the planet. And trust me, he didn't disappoint me this time either. This is a little baby blue tree monitor that he hatched out. He hatched out 5 of these little gems, and I tell you what, out of all the monitors in the world, these have to be one of the most spectacular with that really blue color. Of course, this isn't a big type of an animal. They only get maybe about 2 to 3 foot with their tail, and they're extremely arboreal, but they're not the easiest to breed from what they say, although Brandon tells me it's a piece of cake. But hey, this is a guy that breeds the rarest stuff on the planet, so for him, it's obviously no big deal. This, as it gets bigger, is just gonna get more and more blue. This is a crazy cool animal, and I'll be honest with you, when I headed up here, I never thought I was going to get to play with something as cool as this. The other booth that I always stop at when I'm at the CRB is my buddy Mark Mandick from Marcus Jane Ball Pythons. I don't highlight a tremendous amount of ball pythons on these shows because I work with so many at home, but he has some spectacular animals that just blow me away, and this one is just stunning. This is actually a super orange dream fire spider yellow belly. That's a lot to say, but it's pretty cool. Now, of course, the orange dream is a co-dominant animal, so this is the super form of that. The fire is also co-dominant, and this would just be the single fire gene, and the yellow belly is co-dominant as well, and the spider is a dominant gene. So there's a bunch of genes going on here, but for whatever reason, the orange dream and the spider react tremendously, and then when you get the super orange dream and spider together, holy cow, of course the fire is going to just brighten it up a little bit, and that yellow belly just kind of reduces the pattern on the side. That makes for one sick combo. Holy moly, take a look at this snake right here. This is a banana butter cinnamon enchi, and I tell you what, I couldn't have imagined ball pythons to one day look like this. I think back 20 years ago when I started to work with these snakes, and they were pretty much brown and yellow animals, and now you fast forward here and I come to tables like this and I see this animal, I just am blown away by it. Again, the butter and the enchi has always been a great combination. Then the banana is amazingly beautiful. Then you add the cinnamon for a little bit more rich color. That is awesome for sure. It's 4 genes together, but it's the perfect 4 genes. I'm going to be honest with you, I've seen a lot of insane ball pythons in my days, and although there's some beautiful stuff out there, this has to rank in one of the most beautiful snakes that I've ever seen in my entire life. Again, this is a banana, butter, enchi, cinnamon.
Oh, there you go.
Holy cow, that's awesome. So Skye, I walk away for 1 minute and what happens?
I buy a snake.
You bought a snake? Show me what you got.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So tell me, what is it?
It is a male. Okay, what was it again?
Lithium?
Yeah.
And what's in the lithium?
Well, it
Cinnamon and
oh, sorry.
lesser.
Lesser.
Exactly. So get this, I walk away, I'm doing a couple things, I come back and she's got a bag with a snake in her hands. You're starting to sound like me. I can't let you out of my sight without you buying snakes. What's going on with this?
I'm a snake person, that's why.
And tell me, what's his name? This is the
His
best part.
name's Brian, and
that's
his
solid.
last name's Light.
Brian Light.
Brian Starlight.
Brian Starlight. I love
His
Brian
middle
Starlight.
name. His middle name's Star and his last name's Light, but we call him Brian.
Gosh, I tell you, I love this, and I love her so much. I mean, I tell you, you are amazing. So it's been so awesome just running around, seeing a bunch of snakes and reptiles with you. Have you had a good time today?
Oh yeah.
I tell you, this has just been an awesome day here. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have because it's been absolutely phenomenal. So guys, I'm always Facebooking and tweeting my way through it. So make sure to follow me over at SnakeBytesTV and on Instagram at SnakeBytesTV. Until next week, from me and Skye, you've been watching Snake Bites.
Hi, I'm Peter Birch, an Aussie bloke who loves wildlife. My respect for nature started when I was a young boy in rural New South Wales. Since then, it's exploded into an obsession. New episodes every Thursday only on AnimalBytesTV.